This is Iridium, and this week on Iridium, we will be discussing some general updates about the Iridium family of podcasts, the general election, jurisprudence as the legal term of the week, Clinton's emails and what's new about that, Trump and the judge, Clinton's winning of the Democratic primary, and vice presidents. I'm Benjamin.
And I am Benjamin.
So, our first episode of Iridium Language was released this morning as of the day of recording, probably last Friday by the time you're listening to this.
Yes, and it's about grammatical number.
Yes, and that has been released. And Iridium History, I am currently working through the smaller of the two stacks of books I have for that. I'm in the middle of the small stack, and then I've got 2 books in that stack, and then 5 more, I think. And then I've got a lot more stuff. And the first episode of that should be expected in mid to late July. That's a long-term project because it's going to be a much more edited and produced and...
Did that mean scripted? Or?
Somewhat scripted experience, so that takes a lot more time to prepare for because I've got a lot of notes already for that, and then I've got a lot more to do. And just to tell you what it's going to be about, the first series is going to be about nuclear stuff in vague sense. I'm going to touch on power, go into warfare, its effects on society. I'm going to touch on the politics behind all of it. I'm going to spend some time with Chernobyl, Fukushima, 3 Mile Island. I'm going to touch there.
How long will this be?
The total section, I'm not sure yet. Each episode, I'm going to aim for about 20 minutes. And the first episode, again, mid to late July, is going to probably touch on the political history, which I've got a really book on called The Nuclear Express by Thomas C. Reed and Danny B. Stillman. If you're interested in this sort of thing, I would definitely recommend this book. But so I'm going to touch on the political history, and then also I'm going to touch on the spread of it and how it was originally created, coming from The Making of the Atomic Bomb by Richard Rhodes. It's quite a tome. I think it's like 1,000 pages or so. But I'm going to find that really fun to create, and I hope that you also find that really fun to listen to. Do you have any updates regarding Iridium? What's your next Iridium language going to be about?
It's going to be about the names of countries.
Also, we just stopped and talked about things regarding the next Iridium language, and I realized that I have a schedule planned out for Iridium releases, but just want to lay it out for you. Iridium languages are going to be released on Fridays, however, they won't necessarily be recorded recently, and they also will not be released every Friday if we don't have enough recorded. Iridium Histories will be released on Saturdays when we have them. However, they won't be released every Saturday because, as I stated, that's a much more time-consuming thing to produce because of all of the layers. So once I get into a series of them, I'll probably be releasing one every week for maybe 8 to 12 weeks. But in between those 8 to 12 week segments, there are going to be good chunks in which there are none because of the research and writing that's required before that. And then normal Iridiums, we aren't always available to podcast together, so they won't be released every week. But when they are released, they will be released on Sundays. which is generally the same day we record them, but we normally record in the afternoon. So on most weeks, I can get it edited by that afternoon. Sometimes it'll be pushed to Monday, but preferably not. So, Benjamin, now that we know who our two presumptive nominees from the two major parties are,
Yeah.
it's about time that we can begin talking about the general election. Later in the show, we're going to talk about how Clinton was finally selected and endorsements involved there, and some new issues that have arisen with her. And also later in the show, we're going to talk about Trump's recent statements that have caused some controversy. But right now, we're going to talk some general election things.
Yeah.
And just an interesting article that I'm going to put in the show notes, coming from the New York Times, Nate Cohn. I believe that's how you say the name. That's called "There are more white voters than people think. That's good news for Trump." Now, they make the argument that people have been underestimating the white voter turnout. But based off of 2012 data and using exit polls instead of actual turnout data. But a good point that data makes is that more white people also voted for Obama than expected. So it's a mixed bag there.
There will also be debates in the general election, mostly between Clinton and Trump, but it's possible that Jill Stein or Gary Johnson could appear on one of them.
Well, Jill Stein is almost surely not going to appear in any debates. Gary Johnson, who I wrote an article on the website last week,
yeah, you should read it.
Yes, I'm going to include a link in the show notes for that. And he is the only person currently who's going to have a spot on the ballot in all 50 states, or so it appears.
But what about the possibility of a #NeverTrump candidate?
Well, Gary Johnson is being adopted by many of the #NeverTrump people as their #NeverTrump candidate. Yeah. And he's polling well.
Plus, he might need to gain some national recognition to do pretty good, because there are plenty of people that don't know who Gary Johnson is.
However, he has been mentioned in the media more often, and if I can find some numbers for Gary Johnson name recognition, I'll also put those in the show notes.
Mentioned in the media more often than what?
Than he was in his previous candidacies, such as when he ran as a Republican but was nominated as a Libertarian.
Yeah, any of Gary Johnson's many attempts to to try and be president.
Yeah.
So yeah, there could be high through party support. Trump could win, Clinton could win, anything could really happen. I mean, Bernie Sanders could somehow win,
but that's very unlikely. But it could occur if all of the unpledged delegates flipped over to Bernie Sanders.
Presumably because of Clinton's emails. That would be the presumable thing. We're going to discuss that at another point.
Okay, and I've got a Wall Street Journal article up from June 7th that...
Which is just a few days ago.
Yeah, so 3 days as of recording. But the current data shows that 61% of registered voters do not know who Gary Johnson is, so that's important to keep in mind. So, this week's legal term of the week is jurisprudence, which is basically the philosophy of law and the degree you get to become a legal specialist, a doctorate of jurisprudence. So it's important if you want to go into the legal fields.
Yes.
And it's basically the study of the law and of laws. So, a interesting article in The Guardian raised the point that if Hillary Clinton is indicted over her emails, she would have to end her campaign. How do you think that would affect the general election?
I think that if she's all, the either people will begin writing in Bernie Sanders or voting for Jill Stein, or maybe writing in Joe Biden or Elizabeth Warren. But probably if Clinton gets indicted, Trump will win. However, I can't claim that there's a good possibility of Clinton.
Well, it's quite
getting
possible.
indicted.
The FBI is still investigating her.
Why
And it's
are
a
they still
criminal investigation.
Yes, but apparently the State Department claims that if they had known that Clinton was using a private email, they wouldn't have let that happen, which I find a bit odd. But didn't somebody notice that Clinton was using a private email?
No, because it was a State Department.gov email. It just didn't go through State Department servers.
Oh, that makes a bit more sense. But still, what was wrong? Is there any evidence that Clinton's private-ish email server was hacked?
There is some. And it could have been hacked. And even if it wasn't really hacked, if it could have been hacked, she could still get in trouble.
Yes, but it does seem that the scandal isn't yet over, but presumably the Republicans will give up on attacking her about her emails as soon as they can find a new scandal, but that may take a while because Clinton hasn't been doing a whole lot of scandalous things lately.
So, Benjamin, in recent days, Trump has been attacking Gonzalo Curiel, the judge in the Trump University case, for being Mexican, basically, and claiming that the fact that they are Mexican makes him wonderful but biased. So
wonderful but biased.
Yes, so Trump has said that Mexicans are wonderful. I love Mexicans. But I've attacked Mexicans, and some of my statements have been controversial about Mexicans, so he can't be unbiased in hearing my case.
He's admitting that the statements have been controversial about Mexicans and that he's attacked Mexicans. For Trump, that's even a bit surprising. Generally, he denied that he'd ever done anything to get Mexicans irritated at him.
Yeah. So, what do you think this indicates about the general election, since that's the theme of the episode?
I think it indicates that Trump will make ridiculous comments between now and November.
Anything else you'd like to say about it?
Well, that Gonzalo Curiel actually was born in Indiana, a fact that some people seem to kind of neglect in the whole debate.
But he is of Mexican heritage, which it is important to know.
But an important bit of his career has been spent in trying to prosecute Mexican drug cartels.
Yes. Well, he's not a prosecutor. He's a judge.
Well, something about Mexican drug cartel. Chief of Narcotics Enforcement.
Yes, he used to be. But he is now a judge.
Task force to prosecute Mexican drug cartels. Doesn't the fact that he's already...
Well, not all Mexicans.
...his non-bias against some Mexican drug cartels, that he could prove his non-bias about...
Well, not all Mexicans are drug dealers.
Yep.
So, that's a different issue.
Yes, but then why didn't Trump attack him back then?
Because he wasn't in Trump's realm. Well, back then he was the prosecutor,
Yeah.
not the judge.
Yeah.
And the prosecutors aren't meant to be unbiased.
Yeah.
The prosecutors are meant to be biased.
Yep.
So I don't follow.
So he can be biased when he wants to and do a good job. So if you can bias well, you might also be able to unbias well.
So are you ready to move on?
Yeah, I think. And if that reasoning about that he wasn't biased doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm not even quite sure what I was trying to say, so.
So, this week, Hillary Clinton became the first woman to be the presidential nominee of a major party.
Presumptively.
Yes. However, she also has she has also received endorsements from Elizabeth Warren and from the current president, Barack Obama, and it will be the first time in a good while that a sitting president has actively campaigned for a presidential candidate. Anything you'd like to say, Benjamin?
So, well, she got very close because of Puerto Rico, but then she won it in the last Tuesday that's kind of super until the general election.
Well, we have one more Super Tuesday. DC.
That's just like a normal Tuesday.
It's a super-ish Tuesday.
It's good. It's a good Tuesday. It's nicer than a normal Tuesday in political news, but it's not super.
So are you ready to move on?
No, because
Okay.
but Bernie Sanders also won some states, and California was pretty close.
Yes.
So it's kind of astounding that Bernie Sanders fought Hillary Clinton for the nomination this far.
Actually, the thing here is, even though Bernie Sanders lost, he ran a better campaign to go from almost zero name recognition to coming close to getting a major party nomination against a strong opponent is pretty good, and it requires a much better ground game than Hillary Clinton had.
Yes. So Sanders did very good. Congratulations.
Well, he did very well.
Alright, he did very well, but still, congratulations. So, yes, then this has been, it was very hyped, despite the fact that the Clinton was suited to win the nomination for a good while. So, yeah.
So for weeks you've been begging me to talk about vice presidents, and finally, now that we have both presumptive nominees, I'm giving in.
Yay!
And so, we're going to first look at two lists that the Washington Post has put together for both of the presumptive nominees. Clinton's has 27 possibilities, and Trump's has 35. So let's start by looking at the list of Trump's.
Yeah.
So these are 35 candidates that the Washington Post believes are for some reason on Trump's list. So we've got Carly Fiorina, a former opponent.
I'd say that Carly Fiorina is probably the only notable woman, really, because she was the only woman mounting a serious campaign for the Republican nomination.
We've got
kind of serious, so thumbs up to Fiorina.
We've got Kelly Ayotte.
Ayotte. No name recognition. Thumbs down if Trump picks that person.
Okay. And she's a senator from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We've got Scott Walker, the Wisconsin governor, who has been a strong supporter of Trump in recent weeks.
But also a bit ridiculous. He
Yes.
came in as a distinct possibility to win it, then he kind of decimated his political credentials by his bad one for president.
Yes, then we've got Susana Martinez, the New Mexico governor.
Maybe a bit more name recognition than Kelly Ayotte, and is female, but
Has its pluses. demographics.
I say kind of in the middle next to Scott Walker.
Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor.
Is he even a conservative?
He's a liberal Republican in the whole scheme of things.
So he's like a Republican in name only, maybe a better fit to be Gary Johnson's vice president?
No, Gary Johnson picked a Massachusetts person. So then we've got Rick Perry, the former Texas governor. I think that would be a bad choice because Rick Perry has previously mounted presidential bids, which did not turn out well.
Yeah, whatever name record, he could do completely nothing. He's been a major player for so long that he's done a lot of things that can be used as ammunition against him, but he hasn't done a whole lot well.
So then we've got John Kasich, a former opponent in the same category as Cuddy Fiorina. From Ohio, a battleground state, could help swing some voters.
Trump needs Kasich to win the nomination. Probably the best pick we've seen so far.
Well, I think the thing here is another source, can't recall what, I'll try and find it for the show notes, has said that whoever wins Virginia and North Carolina will probably win the general election. So Ohio isn't going to be that important. So then we've got Nikki Haley, the South Carolina governor, who previously attacked Trump in the Republicans' response to the State of the Union, but it appears to be on the short list. So what do you think here?
I think that Nikki Haley has A, name recognition, and B, is a woman, which sounds like it should be good, but actually has spent so much time attacking Trump and doesn't have that much name recognition, so like kinda in the middle.
So now we've got Chris Christie, the New Jersey governor. I see this as a really awful choice because there will be ads that are just showing the picture of Chris Christie hugging Obama and like with the caption, "Do we really want a president who hugs Obama?"
Yes, I might like one,
okay,
but
so now we've got Mike Pence, the Indiana governor,
who has barely any name recognition, but might be crazy enough for Trump.
Yes. Now we've got Bill Haslam, the Tennessee governor.
Barely, I haven't heard of him.
Same.
And I've heard of a lot of these people. Why is this guy on the short list?
Probably
has he
crazy.
done anything notable?
Let's see.
But yeah.
What category does he fall into?
He's from the South.
He's from the South. Okay.
He's male.
He's
not from a swims.
He is male. He will not be a historic first pick. And he's apparently an insider. So apparently, I guess they think that could help him. And now the order got mixed up.
Yeah, which...
Let's see if we reload it. We'll go back to the first order.
Yeah, but it might be a bit closer. Yeah, that looks like the first order.
Okay. So...
Find Haslam, I think.
No, that's not the first order. Oh, and it's...
Yep, but there's being a bit of a problem.
Hang on.
With the Washington Post.
Okay, so it's a different order.
Yeah, but Mary Fallin, she was somewhere.
Yes, she is the Oklahoma governor.
Another notable Republican woman. Every kind of notable Republican woman seems to be on this list.
Yeah, then we've got Marco Rubio, the senator from Florida. That wouldn't really work well because Trump calls him Little Marco.
Yep.
Then we've got Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House from Wisconsin.
Who everybody likes for some reason, though I can't tell why. He's like perfectly positioned in the Republican Party to get everybody to like him. I'm not sure why.
Well, he's the Speaker of the House. He's good at negotiating deals. He's somewhat neutral, and he's willing to work with the Democrats. Now we might as well give up trying to get this chart to work.
Well, there are some interesting.
No, we're going to.
Let's point out the interesting.
So we've got Ben Carson.
Yeah.
The neurosurgeon from Florida.
Big Trump supporter. That's
bad decision though. We've got
Sarah Palin.
Yes, David Petraeus. former director of CIA, or a
Doesn't he have
general.
a big scandal to his name?
Yes, however, that's finished up. Sarah Palin, the former Alaska governor. That would be an interesting
weird
choice. Any other?
I think that there's a pretty interesting one.
Oh, Joe Scarborough, former congressman from Florida, MSNBC host. So what do you think about that choice, Benjamin?
MSNBC host, Fox News would be so busy attacking him that they might not have time to attack anybody else.
He's actually quite conservative compared to some of the others.
But that person, Mia Love.
Congresswoman from Utah. She is African American and a woman, both two demographics that Trump is not especially wonderful at. Let's see, who else?
Brian Sandoval, Nevada governor. And
I think,
no name recognition. Jeff Sessions, big Trump supporter. That's probably nobody heard of him until he supported Trump. Now he's at least somewhat widely known, but.
So now moving on to Clinton's 27.
Yep. Well,
these we're going to go in order.
Awesome.
Okay, so we've got Bernie Sanders, senator from Vermont. Good decision. Don't need to go into that.
Kamala
Harris, the California Attorney General.
I would not pick Kamala Harris. Decent name recognition, but not as much name recognition as Sanders or Warren, who are the two logical picks.
Then we've got Timothy Kaine, a senator from Virginia.
I have never heard of this guy, and I live in North Carolina, just south of which is the state right below Virginia. Janet Napolitano, name recognition, but not for doing anything partisan.
Yes.
Could be a bit
Salazar, the former Interior Secretary. Deval Patrick, a former Massachusetts governor.
I have no idea what Deval Patrick did notable.
Elizabeth Warren, a senator from Massachusetts, has been maneuvering into a good position to be asked. However, and Hillary Clinton has even come out and said that she would be qualified. However, it would be a bad decision, but she'd say no, most likely. Then we've got...
Why, though? I mean, she's been maneuvering herself. Hillary Clinton thinks she's qualified.
However, the thing here is she has said that she doesn't want to do it.
I think that you have the wrong person, because why else would she have been?
Well, because she wasn't intentionally maneuvering into that position.
Everybody kind of maneuvered her.
Yeah, Jean Shaheen. Yeah.
That's more like how
Senator from New Hampshire.
Mostly notable for being yet another person from the Northeast.
Anthony Scott,
Anthony Fox. It's that person.
Yes. Anthony Fox, the current Transportation Secretary from North Carolina.
I have not heard of this person.
You haven't? He is very good at emphasizing some, more fuel-friendly transportation methods. Then we've got
Joaquin Castro,
a congressman from Texas. Al Franken, a senator from Minnesota.
Some people would Al Franken, but I'm not quite sure.
Evan Bayh.
I think, but I'm not sure.
Bay, former senator from Indiana. Then we've got Joe Biden, vice president from Delaware. That would be a really bad pick.
Because he's already been vice president.
And also, he's going to
help Obama.
And
much.
He did in some categories, but that would also not be great because it doesn't check any demographic boxes, really. Not from a swing state. And let me think, what else isn't he? Oh, and he has been associated with Obama, which would not be
plagiarism
helpful.
And all sorts of things. Yes, there was some people were yelling about Joe Biden being a plagiarist. I'm not quite sure what the evidence was.
So then we've got
Amy Klobuchar,
a senator from Minnesota,
who
Terry McAuliffe,
a Virginia governor.
Yes.
I have vaguely heard of this person.
He's not wonderful, but yes.
Yeah.
Thomas Perez, the labor secretary from Maryland, he would be a good choice to appeal to labor unions. Some of the people who have been getting on the Sanders bus.
But Sanders could also do a great job of appealing to labor unions. He's the logical pick.
No, he would be the worst pick.
Why?
Because then they've got these people who have been running against each other, then being on the same ballot, and Trump would attack them for being weak and compromising.
Trump's attacked everybody in his field, so because Sanders is a pretty good person to just attack people.
So now we've got Andrew Cuomo.
Obviously attack Trump for attacking Republicans.
Now we've got Andrew Cuomo, the New York governor, would be a good choice, except for the fact that his brother is Chris Cuomo, a commentator for CNN, and Trump would claim that this makes him biased in all of the debates, especially the vice presidential debate, so that would not be a great choice. Then we've got Tom Vilsack, the agriculture secretary from Iowa. Pretty neutral pick.
Yeah.
Then
nice if you don't want to inflame anybody, but not that good.
Then we've got Mike Warner, a senator from Virginia. Michael Bloomberg, the former New York City governor.
He's way too independent for Clinton. He's right down the middle of centristness.
However, the thing here with Cuomo is Bloomberg, yes, not Cuomo. He would appeal to the same sort of people who Trump appeals to, so that could be a good choice. Then we've got Martin O'Malley, the former Maryland governor. Now, I think that would probably be the worst decision, because Bernie people would attack him and would not go along with it, because they're picking someone who lost before, who did worse. Then we've got Julian Castro, the housing secretary from Texas. That would be a good pick, because then you're appealing to more demographic. And now you've got Bill de Blasio, the New York City mayor. Same category as Bloomberg, would be good at appealing to some of the same people as Trump.
But so would Sanders, actually.
Not as much, though. Then we've got Cory Booker, a senator from New Jersey. So those are the vice presidents. I think that's enough for today. So this has been Iridium. I'm Benjamin.
And I am Benjamin.